morning and welcome to Today in LA. I'm Mike Amos. We're coming to you from our studios, cold studios on South Brundage Street in Troy, Alabama. Of course, temperature outside is freezing. Believe you me, it's freezing. And our guy up top's going to give us a forecast today in just a few moments. Of course, temperatures running right at 30 degrees outside. Coming in right off the bat this morning. Good morning, you're on Today in LA.
Hey, morning.
Where you calling from, sir?
Let's see, Mountain Brook this morning.
Mountain Brook, pretty nice. Where's that located in South Alabama? A little small town in South Alabama. Where's that?
It's right outside Crow Hill.
That's right. That will be between Elm Street Road and what?
I don't know. I thought there was a Mountain Brook Street on Crow Hill.
Yeah, there is. I think so. Mike Amos calling in from Birmingham this morning on a cold morning. What's the temperature up there?
It's 28 degrees.
28 degrees up there, and of course, you know what? It's about as cold down here. So, even though you're on top of a mountain over there, it's really cold here.
Yeah, you got to hope that this maybe did away with a few mosquitoes that were out and about. Of course, there's been a lot of people in the Birmingham area talking about the peach crop might be affected by this up around Clanton. So
that's right. But hopefully not.
It's definitely been a lot colder March than February already.
I will say this. I think from this point on, it's going to get better. It's going to get warmer and warmer and warmer. And now the problem that we face now is another terrible rainstorm is in the forecast this weekend. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it could be more tornadoes. So hopefully it will definitely not be as bad as this last round of storms that came through and caused the devastation in Lee County. Of course, it'll take months to recover from all that, and hopefully they're going to raise a lot of money and send a lot of supplies that way. I know they're doing a lot of stuff in Birmingham right now. I know
at Sister's Restaurant, they, when you go to eat there today, bring some products with you. Anything will do, anything will help, but water is very important, and for children, diapers for babies, a lot of needs out there for a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where a lot of people lost it all, and I mean, there's several friends of mine that say that people from Hurricane Michael are still struggling down on the coast. I mean, a lot of people still living in tents, and
I know it.
Still a lot of needs down there as well. So
no question about it.
I know y'all been down that way. I mean, how far have y'all been to see the damage down there?
Well,
Did y'all ever go into some
we were
hit areas?
We ate at Hunt's the other day, and we rode around a little bit down there on 23rd Street and 15th Street. It was all still, a lot of damage, no question about it. And our prayers and our thoughts go out to all the people that are in need today. And
I mean, it makes you realize, like, if that would have hit like the heart of Panama City Beach, I mean, can you imagine how many years that would have took to rebuild all that?
Oh yeah, no question about it. And
I mean, it's really amazing. It actually hit an area that was not as populated and not as much infrastructure. So it's one of those situations where at the time it looked like it was going to be a direct hit on Panama City Beach, but then it ended up going towards Mexico Beach.
Well, I tell you, it's amazing. Like when you go over the bridge, one side of the bridge had very little damage. The other side of the bridge had all kinds of damage. It's really, really remarkable how all that worked out.
I always thought the Thomas Drive was going to get tons of damage, and parts of it did, but not like the beach side.
Very little of it. The naval base there, I think, had a little bit of damage, but it was strictly on the other side of the bridge, and then over in New Mexico, Tyndall Air Force Base was almost totally destroyed, and then of course you've got the Mexico Beach area was pretty much totally destroyed. I mean, the further you go east, the worse it got.
Troy softball fell last night to Sanford. Sanford beat Troy last night 5-3.
In a cold game. That was a cold. I rode by there, and man, it was cold.
So Troy now falls to 16-7 and loses a game at home to Sanford, which is kind of surprising. They've been off to a really hot start.
And Troy 16-7. You're right. Is off to a big start. You know,
Troy's losses have been to. I mean, not all of them, but I think 5 of them losses have been to SEC teams. Troy cannot beat an SEC team so far.
Yeah, no question about it. Of course, Alabama.
It just tells you the SEC softball is the top, of, probably the top league in the country, and they all have just such great pitching.
Yeah, Mike, when Alabama hired their basketball coach, had he had any head coaching experience prior to that?
Yeah, he took the Dallas Mavericks to the NBA championship.
All right, so he had coached in the pros. Is that right, pretty much?
With the Dallas Mavericks, he was the coach of the year, and then he went to the Brooklyn Nets and had horrible teams up there.
Yeah. Well, his job is in jeopardy, from what I gather.
Well, I mean, the thing is with Avery Johnson is a lot of people just, think that, Alabama, is in a situation where they have too many of the same type of players. They've got these rangy 6'6", 6'7" guys that are athletic, but none of them can shoot.
That's what bothers me.
And against Auburn, it should have been a situation where they should have just pounded it inside and shot little 2-footers or made layups throughout the game. And instead, you got guys that are trying to fire up 3-pointers and just can't shoot a lick.
There's too much emphasis on the 3-point shot, the way I look at it.
And then the top player on their team is a freshman that's 17 years old. And just like a guy was calling in yesterday on the radio and mentioned it, I mean, can you imagine how bad Alabama would have been if they couldn't have got this kid to graduate early?
The kid from Hazel Green is their best player?
Yeah, he averages 14 a game.
Oh, man. What's his name, Jones?
No, Kyra Lewis.
Kyra Lewis. They got a kid named Jones, too, that's pretty good, a young kid, isn't he?
Herbert Jones, but he's a horrible shooter. He shoots
really?
under 45% from the free throw line.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, if you shoot 45% from the free throw line.
Well, you know what? You're not being coached. You're not. I really believe, you can make yourself a good free throw shooter. Don't you agree?
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, it's just practice.
I mean, by working at it. You're right. That's right.
I mean, if anything, hit that square. Maybe you can get it off the glass.
Well, on the other hand, Auburn is a very good three-point shooting team, and of course,
they're one of the best in the country.
And then in the second half, that's what was the difference. They pull away and beat Alabama 66-60 in college basketball. Mike, we've got
Troy will be on the road tonight against Appalachian State. It starts at 6 o'clock.
Do you give them, and that game can be seen on ESPN Plus if you can pick it up. Can you pick it up?
That's on the ESPN app. Yeah, it's just a streaming device through your internet, so you'd be able to watch it.
Do I have that? I don't believe I have it.
I mean, anybody that has the ESPN app can buy it. It's $4.99 a month.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's
I'd say $4.99 a month, and you can watch any basketball game pretty much in the country. Is a pretty good deal.
It really is. It really is. And do you go to your to Troy Cable and they'll put you on it, or how does that work? Do you have to have any kind of?
I don't know how Troy Cable works when it comes to that. I have a different kind of device that gets me on there. I have an Amazon Fire Stick where I can get it. But I don't know if that's offered. I mean, it's offered through the internet on Troy Cable. Yeah. You just go to the ESPN Plus app and set it up.
Yeah, no question about it.
I'm sure that's what most people do is they just plug their computers into their televisions, watch it that way.
Mike, of course, the combine is going on, and but now let me make something clear. I know it's over with now, but you had the combine, and of course, you do get a good extra look when you go to the combine. But the thing that's really more important than the combine is actually the pro tour when it comes. I mean, the
individual pro days at the universities.
At the university is really when everybody's going to be looked at. So the combine, to me, is in a way a waste of time and money, isn't it?
it's not a waste of time and money. I think it's just one of those things where certain players have more to prove than others. I mean, it's kind of one of those things.
I mean, they're going to be looked at completely over again when they come to the campus. Isn't that right?
Well, I mean, the teams have time to interview these guys and just kind of see what their personalities are and kind of find out, how they're out, like off the field and then, possibly in the locker room.
Yeah. Will Alabama have any players to go in the top 30?
Alabama's going to have 5 guys go in the top 30, possibly.
Right. Who are some of those guys?
I mean, Deontay Thompson, Irv Smith, Quentin Williams, Josh Jacobs, number 1 running back.
Yeah. It's a shame that he started, had such a great year at the end of the season. He would have been a big help this next year for him, wouldn't he?
And then they're talking about Mac Wilson might get into the first round, the kid out of Carver, who I thought was awful at linebacker this year.
Yeah. Well, of course, and he would have had another year, or maybe 2 years of eligibility in college, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I mean, they had 7 underclassmen go early.
I talked to a player.
Yeah, I didn't even mention Jonah Williams, offensive tackle, is going to go in the first round for sure.
Yeah, so how many then? 6?
So, I mean, it could be 5 for sure.
Yeah. 5, and that means 5 former Alabama players will become millionaires. Is that right?
Yeah, well, they'll all of a sudden, even a second-round guy would be a millionaire.
Yeah, so, of course, that was one of the promises that was made to them, I'm sure, when they were at Alabama. I mean, when they signed with Alabama, that one day you'll have a good opportunity to play in the pros.
I mean, Saban's put more guys, in the pros as a first-round draft pick than any coach ever.
That is,
that's their big recruiting tool when they go to see players. They basically just have a list of all the guys and pictures of the guys and what teams they play on. And
so what they're doing, they almost guaranteeing them, you come to Alabama in 2 years, you can be a millionaire.
I mean, Alabama had 12. What did they shoot? I think they set a record last year. They had 12 or 13 guys drafted last year.
Oh man, how many do you think they'll have drafted this year?
I think at least 10.
Yeah, Auburn's
isn't it hard to believe though? I mean, we talk about this all the time. Neil Brown had all these great teams. I mean, he went 10-3, 11-2, 10-3, and Troy had no guys in the draft and no guys really go pro.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really amazing. He just had really good college football players, but no guys that really were good enough to play at the next level.
Speaking of Neil Brown, Mike, from what I gather, that's who this young man wants to go play for.
Well, we got to find out if that's 100% sure, but I was talking to a lot of buddies yesterday, and they said that their opinion on Neil Brown will change a lot if that's the case.
I would think so, but at the same time, that's the way the rules are, and you can't blame him. I mean, if he's got a chance to get a good player in 2 years like this, I mean, he's a game breaker, and everybody wants a game breaker.
Well, he's going to be playing in an offensive league where, kick returners would be big in the Big 12, but, defensively is what they need more than anything. There's so many high-scoring teams.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it seemed like we'd know by now because springs are starting to come up, where Folsom would go and where Jones would go. It's like we'd have to know this by now.
Yeah, exactly. This came from a player. In fact,
really?
Well, I saw and he acted like it didn't bother him one bit. They said we've got plenty of players like him. Is what the guy told me.
I don't know about like him.
He said, well, he tells me that we got 2 other real good kick returners. What he said.
Well, we signed 2 really good cornerbacks out of North Alabama this year in the recruiting class as well.
Yeah.
Signed one kid that chose Troy over Michigan, Mississippi State, and what was it, Michigan, Mississippi State.
Is that the kid out of Decatur? Who is that kid?
Yeah, he chose Troy over Michigan, Mississippi State, and Kentucky.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
And what's his name? Do you remember his name?
We talked about him during the recruiting.
But he's from Decatur High School, or is he from
He's the
Austin?
one that Chip Lindsey signed when he came in. He was a huge recruit that Troy got, the top recruit of the whole class.
Oh, man, that's great. And does he run back kicks too, or what does he do?
No, he's just a pure cornerback.
Okay. Of course,
Been
Troy.
on state 2 straight years.
Yeah. And again, you know.
I mean, there's players, but I mean, you got to admit, Marcus Jones, a pretty special player for what he's done in his short time.
No question about it. I mean,
you were there at Coastal when he ran those 2 kicks back.
Oh yeah.
And then he ran another one back against him this year.
Exactly, sure did. No question about it.
That billionaire coach would have known how to defend him a little better.
And something that surprised me, and this was under the table, or at least I didn't hear anything about it, was the Coastal coach is gone. He owned that team, Michael. It's like he owned that team.
Well, he basically helped them start a program, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly. And he was a billionaire guy, is that right, that wanted to start a football program at Coastal Carolina.
That's right.
And he's done that pretty well so far, don't you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine trying to recruit against the South Carolinas and the Clemsons in a state like that's tough, but you know, they had a pretty good team, I felt, that played against Troy last year. They moved it up and down the field. They just couldn't score.
That's right. I feel like and that area is just red hot, and of course they're bringing in a bowl game. I'm sure he had a lot to do with that too. And of course Johnny Williams is going to be one of the guys to run that bowl game, and so another outlet for the Sun Belt. Mike, how many does that give us now?
I think 5.
So that's 5 opportunities to go to a bowl game. That's super.
And they got the Cure Bowl. They got
the Arizona Bowl.
They got the Dollar General Bowl.
Dollar General.
New Orleans Bowl.
New Orleans Bowl.
And then they got the Camellia Bowl.
And the Camellia Bowl. That's 5 opportunities to go to a bowl game. Why would Troy want to be in another conference? I mean, really, why would they even want to?
I mean, it's just, you got a little bit bigger bowl games and a little bit more competition. Yeah. I think, and the Conference USA would be the only step Troy would make.
Yeah.
You basically just take on rivals that you already had.
Do you feel like Conference USA is really any better than the Sun Belt, though, Mike?
I don't feel like they really are now. I think Troy and Sun Belt's caught up with them. But I mean, we enjoyed those trips to Western Kentucky and Murfreesboro to play Middle Tennessee. And
all right, let's look at it. Let's look at it.
Florida Atlantic.
Yeah.
You had Troy never played. Well, they played Rice in a bowl game, but you got Rice and other teams like Florida International. I mean, there's other teams that are in those leagues.
I'm throwing out a few things here a second, and Louisiana too. But if you were a team out there in the in the middle of the road, like a Conference USA or any of the other smaller conferences, wouldn't you think that Troy, Arkansas State, Appalachian State, Georgia Southern, and Louisiana, don't you think they could stand up against most anybody?
Yeah, well, I think once they added Georgia Southern and Appalachian State, the Sun Belt got really, really strong.
Yeah.
I don't think people realize how huge that was to add those 2 programs.
Yeah. And they're good, and they're very good football programs. So you take Troy, Arkansas State, Appalachian State, Georgia Southern, and Louisiana Lafayette. I don't know if anybody wants to play those guys.
And I still think South Alabama's a gold mine waiting to happen. I think Campbell's going to turn that program around.
And they're right there at the fixing to be really good, no question.
Can you imagine the players they could get just within an hour of that campus? It's unbelievable.
And I have the same question that you had yesterday about why Texas State is not good. I mean, they're in the heart of Texas. They're just a very good football coach away from being very good. Wouldn't you say if you could recruit that area?
You would think so. Well, all those great players out of Texas.
That's right. And
like we say all the time, there's only 25 scholarships. There got to be some good guys left.
And they're located between Austin and San Antonio, 2 million, million population plus towns, right there in between. Corvallis, is that the name of this? What's the name of that Texas town?
No, San Marcos.
Yeah, San Marcos. Yeah, San Marcos. And that program should, with the right coach, explode. So that's going to really give the Sun Belt Conference a pretty good, pretty strong league, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, the only teams I see maybe going to a Power 5 that are not Power 5 right now is Houston. I think we'll maybe make the move one day. I think Memphis will make the move one day.
But would it bother you at all for Troy to play Memphis or Houston? Wouldn't you think they could stand straight up with them?
I mean, they definitely could with Memphis. Houston, Central Florida has been really tough lately.
Yeah, they've been good. Of course, we played them for years,
Yeah. I mean, they're the same story as Troy. Went from Division 2 to 1A.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I forgot. Yeah, South Florida too. I wouldn't be surprised if they end up being a Power 5 school one day.
Yeah, no question about it.
I mean, when it's all said and done, you don't know if expansion is going to happen.
Yeah.
Everybody always talks about Boise State, but I mean, could you really put a Boise State in the Pac-12?
No,
that doesn't seem like that would make sense.
Yeah, but those are things you got to look at. Well, what we're talking about this morning, ladies and gentlemen, is the strength of the Sun Belt Conference. And let me just say this: you sure are. Troy should be just awfully grateful to be where they are. Don't you agree?
Well, I think it's a situation where if you're going to take one more step, it'd probably be the Conference USA, maybe. But I mean, I think Sun Belt and Conference USA are pretty equal now, so I don't know if it's even a jump you would even make.
And I would think that if the Conference USA is looking at expansion, South Alabama with Mobile area, and we're talking about an area that's got 500,000 people in it. When you say a 50-mile area of Mobile, at least 500,000.
Yeah, it's growing too.
See, that's a positive thing for them to actually get into another conference if they wanted to. They might not want to. But you got to look at travel and things like that. If the Sun Belt does expand, who do you think they would go to?
Well, I mean, it's just a team that's already Division I. The only team that's Division I so far is Liberty.
Yeah. James Madison Division I?
No, they're 1AA.
Okay, that was another school that people talked about. I'm sure Jacksonville State would love to be Division I.
Well, they're going to have to pay a lot of money, and they're going to have to, it's going to take 2 or 3 years to transition.
Troy did that, and they sacrificed for about 4 or 5 years on the scheduling and so forth. But they played a lot of big name schools, and their program, got a lot of exposure.
I don't think people have any clue how tough it was for Larry Blake to be a head coach at Troy. He literally, his first several years in Division I, would only play 4 home games. Can you imagine that?
That's right. But now it's worked out.
Troy's smart. They play 6 at home, 6 on the road, and they only play 1 big boy every year.
Exactly.
That makes a huge difference.
Yeah, and and it wouldn't bother me to play 2 big boys because I think that revenue is very important.
I mean, your record's going to be a lot better when you only play 1 usually.
Yeah, no question about it. But we're in great shape here at Troy.
You gotta admit, though, Troy played really 2 big boys last year when you played Boise and you played Nebraska.
Yeah.
And they're kind of doing the same thing this year. They're playing Southern Miss, which is falling off a little bit. And you're playing at Missouri.
Yeah, and let me just say this, and I'm sure if Jeremy is watching this morning, it's hard for Troy to schedule anybody, Mike. Who wants to play Troy? I mean, if you were Houston, would you want to play Troy? If you were Memphis, would you want to play Troy? Or if you were Kansas State, would you want to play Troy?
No, I mean, I definitely think Troy could play with all those teams.
But what I'm saying is a lot of schools, it's sort of hard for Troy to schedule because, that's not a sure win. You know what I mean? We're talking about like Missouri playing Troy this year. Even though Missouri is pretty good, it's sure not a sure win going up against Troy, wouldn't you say?
I'll tell you what, if they wouldn't have got Kelly Bryant and they were just replacing Drew Lock with somebody from their roster, I would almost think Troy could go in there and pull the upset for sure.
Well, Troy's played against Kelly Bryant before, haven't they?
No, that wasn't Kelly Bryant. That was Deshaun Watson.
Oh, it was? It was Watson? Well, how
First
many
round
years?
draft pick in the NFL draft.
How many years how many years does this guy have at Missouri?
1 year.
Oh, he just has the 1 year, so forth. This new rule, ladies and gentlemen, is giving guys the opportunity, or giving schools the opportunity, like Auburn did a few years back. I reckon Auburn started this thing, wouldn't you say?
Well, they got Cam out of a junior college, and then they got Marshall out of a junior college. Each of them got kicked out of their schools. You know, Cam got kicked off the team in Florida, and then Marshall.
Mike, surely you don't think Auburn would take a guy that got kicked off, do you?
When Marshall got kicked off the team at Georgia.
And he was a defensive back, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, what happened, though, they all went to junior colleges.
I got you.
They got picked up from junior colleges.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those type of situations where I think you're just seeing Troy's success over the last 3 years that, you know, they got guys that other programs probably won't, and that's why you're seeing this NCAA transfer portal.
Yeah. And people say, well, he comes from a junior college. Most every one of these great athletes that come from junior colleges were number one on folks' list to recruit in Division I, but the problem was they didn't have the grades. And the difference in Division 1A, like Troy is with Alabama and Auburn and Tennessee and all those guys, the junior college route, like for Jacksonville State or North Alabama or, you know, those kind of guys, they don't have to worry about that kid graduating from a junior college. They don't have to graduate. In Division 1A, they've got to graduate from that junior college before they can go to a 1A team. And that makes a lot of difference, and that's why the people like the Jacksonville's States and those guys, that's how they get good players.
Well, a lot of coaches out of high school will send a guy to junior college, and they'll already have that relationship with the college beforehand, so they're kind of send them to the schools they want to send them to, and then they, you know, basically pick them up, you know, 2 years later. Well, kind of the way it works.
And of course, Troy's going to go after the needs, and they're going to go the junior college route. But I think Troy and in football,
Troy's done a really good job recruiting high school.
That's what I'm saying. They're starting to recruit guys that they hopefully can keep for 4 years.
I mean, I'll never forget Larry's last signing class. I mean, we looked at it and we were just shaking our heads. He had recruited 3 high school kids. It's 17 junior college guys.
The guy felt like he had to get guys that could play right now. Is that right?
Yeah, I'll never forget. Like John Johnson, and I think Andre Flakes, and one other guy were out of high school. Yeah. That was it. Those were
John Johnson, bless his heart, from right here at Charleston High School. He got sort of a tough break. You know, he played one
should have been redshirted.
Should have been redshirted. You know, that could have been the difference in him going to the pros. You know that?
I don't know if he's fast enough.
But he was a good player, no question about it. From John, hey, listen, Mike, from you know who to John Johnson. Tell us who that guy was.
Austin Ingram.
Austin Ingram to John Johnson. Probably the best, most prolific combination in Charleston high school football history, wouldn't you say?
We also had that, who was that 6'5" kid that was so good?
Yeah, he was good too. How good was Austin Ingram, Mike? I mean, that guy was good. Huh?
He was the best high school quarterback I'd seen at Charleston.
You know, when I think of Austin Ingram, I think of going up to play Coosa Central, or what was the name of that school that merged, Mike?
Central Clay.
Central of Clay, playing in the playoffs at Central Clay. Do you remember right before the half, everybody in the world knew that he was going to throw the ball in the end zone? And he threw a strike from about 40 yards out. And they were backed up. They were all backed up in the end zone just to defend the end zone because it was the last play of the half. You remember that?
That was one of the most. That kid's name. He threw it to the big 6'5" guy.
Yeah, and he threw it on on the money. You know, if he'd been 6'3", 6'4", everybody in the country would have wanted Austin Ingram. Don't you agree?
I mean, I think he definitely could have played Division II, even at his size.
Oh yeah, even at his size. But what I'm saying, if you looked at it, if he was a couple of inches taller, no telling how good he would have been. we'd be talking about it
we
right
can say
now.
that about a lot of guys, though.
Yeah, you're right. We're going to take a short break, brought to you by Troy Bank and Trust Company. Remember, they're the only bank you'll ever need is Troy Bank and Trust Company with 12 locations.
Hey folks, are you tired of spending hard-earned money on a gas grill only to have it burn up in less than 2 years? Not to mention burning your food. Here at Southern Grill and Patio in Troy, Alabama, we carry the Holland Grill line. They've been around since 1988, and there are people right here in Troy that have had theirs for over 20 years. These grills are guaranteed not to flare up. You can grill, steam, or smoke on your new Holland Grill today. Come see us at Southern Grill and Patio in Troy, Alabama, inside Town and Country Flooring Center.
If you've had an accident or just want a new look for your vehicle, come see us at Troy Paint and Body, where we do it right the first time. Our staff has more than 100 years combined experience and can handle repairs and paint work on any make or model. We also offer a lifetime guarantee as long as you own your vehicle. Our 24-hour towing service means we're here when you need us. Troy Paint and Body, where we may meet by accident, but you'll be glad we did. So come see us at Troy Paint and Body, located on South Brundage Street in Troy beside the post office.
When you are handed the key to a new Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick or GMC, rev up your imagination. Think of all the places you can go in some of the most stylish, best quality cars available on the market today. Feel confident driving vehicles with superb dependability and safety ratings. And smile. You saved a ton of money because you bought at Bill Jackson. Let the only thing holding you back be the end of the road. A Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC vehicle will not only change your life, it saves you money like nowhere else.
Troy Cable Security makes it easy to stay aware and stay in control of your home wherever you are. User-friendly interface allows easy navigation for lights, locks thermostat, video, and garage doors. Never worry about leaving your garage door open or the front door unlocked. Your mobile app can send alerts to your phone for alarm and no alarm events. Know when your children arrive home from school with video response. Make sure your home is powered by Troy Cable Security for ultimate access, awareness, and protection.
Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by Sostos. Michael, let me ask you this. Is it sisters or Sostos?
I always say sisters.
I want to say this. How many times have you heard me say, let's go to a Sostos?
You know, my favorite thing about sisters, though, is literally you sit down, you make your tea order, and then, like, within 1 minute, you're eating. That's what I
Yeah, that's where it was with me yesterday, and of course.
I don't know what it is. The older I've gotten in life, the earlier I have to eat. I have to eat lunch now by right at 11 o'clock. I'm just dying for something.
Well, that means you didn't eat
really
any
early.
breakfast. That means that you didn't eat any breakfast. And of course, Sister's located south of Troy on 231 with a big green sign. And let me tell you what I like at Sister's, and they know why I like it, because I like good crust on my desserts. And they've got a cherry pie down there that'll knock your socks off.
Yeah, you know, the
But
Catholic
you got to
Church-
get it early. You got to get it early or they'll run out.
The Catholic Church and the Episcopal Church, you know, we had Lent yesterday, so we had Ash Wednesday.
Yeah.
And, you know, we went to church, and they put the ash on our top of our forehead, the cross. And you had to give up something for 40 days. And I told my wife, I said, I've been doing way too many sweets over the last year, so I'm going to give up sweets for 40 days.
Oh, boy. If you can do that, your health will be better. And I wish I could do that. I really do.
Yeah, well, I just feel like it's something that
I need somebody to give me a dare.
with these kids, we have more sweets around than normal, so I'm trying to stay away from it.
I need somebody to dare me and put some money at the end of the line, and maybe I could quit eating sweets. No question about it. We're late.
We definitely. The only time I'm going to be able to do sweets though is I had to put in one day. It's my birthday. It's coming up on April the 6th. So, I'll probably have to have
That's that only day, yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, of course,
pretty amazing. On my birthday, we're going to celebrate Macon, my twin sister Camille's daughter's birthday.
Yes, exactly.
And then, of course, it's going to be Camille's birthday. And then my wife's grandmother's going to be 98. So,
boy, that's
crazy.
something. That is really something. Want to mention, ladies and gentlemen, all of our sponsors this morning, of course, Pike County Ford on the bypass, looking for Great deal on a Ford car truck. Believe you me, no better deal anywhere than Pike County Ford on the bypass. We're dealing, and they're really dealing right now with some of the biggest sales they've had in a long time. Pike, looking at some scores, and of course, we always want to look at and promote high school athletics. But, of course, Macon East is, again, turns around and wallops Pike Liberal Arts girls 9-2 in varsity softball. All that's going on right here. Of course, we were talking about yesterday, Charles Henderson baseball team shutting out a good Enterprise team 5-0. Charles Henderson baseball, Mike, looks pretty good under their new head coach, and he came from Enterprise.
Yeah, I guess he was an assistant coach down there because the head coach left and took over the Spanish Sport job.
Yeah, no question about it. And, of course, a lot of high school tournaments and even track and field events coming up soon. There's going to be a track event at Charles Henderson starting today. So, I love to watch track. And, of course, Troy's got a brand new track at Troy University. Let me tell you this. Name me a program at Troy, starting with this girls softball facility and their track facility, that if anybody in the mid-level of NCAA athletics has better facilities than Troy. I don't believe there's anybody
I'm
out
not
there.
a good person to judge, like somebody like Barry McKnight or somebody like that goes to all these different facilities throughout the Sun Belt can tell you better, I guess. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't think there's anybody that has anything as nice as Troy, but I guess I haven't been to some. I know Coastal Carolina's got an unbelievable baseball facility, and a really nice new football stadium.
Mike, we've got another restaurant coming to downtown Troy. It's called Ground Floor. The name of the new coffee shop in downtown Troy. They have all kinds of different flavored coffees, and they're going to have music. They're going to have a great opportunity to have a place to go and meet with your friends and enjoy.
I read that on Facebook.
And they're called Ground Floor because of the ground floor of that 3-story facility there, located right next to Joel Williams' law firm, and then of course Dulcie and Bird Drugs are right up the street. More restaurants come to downtown Troy, the better.
You think they have hot cocoa? I don't drink coffee.
They do have hot cocoa. You're exactly right. And these little girls that were on my show.
My wife laughs every time we go to a coffee place and I order hot chocolate.
You were supposed to meet us yesterday for breakfast, but we had these beautiful young ladies with the
Church of Latter-day Saints.
Church of Latter-day Saints we were at Bird's yesterday, and I asked them what they would like to drink, and they said orange juice, and we started talking, and Mormons do not believe in drinking coffee or tea. Can you believe that?
So no caffeine whatsoever?
They'll drink Coca-Cola's non-caffeine free Cokes. But can you believe that they think that they don't drink coffee or tea?
You missed something huge when you were interviewing them yesterday. They're now able to talk to their families once.
We did talk about that.
Yeah, once a week, every Monday now.
And that is so much better than what was it, once a month before?
It used to be Mother's Day and on birthdays.
That's right. Well, that's right. It was just during the special times, and that is important. And I tell you what, those were two fine young ladies and sharp young ladies, and they're out.
Had they been to Birds?
They were at Birds yesterday, and they had been.
No, but I'm saying had they been there before?
Yeah, they had been there before, and on me, and I tell you, wonderful girls, and I admire the Church of Latter-day Saints. They have several, I want to say as many as 80,000 missionaries like them all across the world. Can you believe that?
Yeah, you gotta respect these people, as far as what they do. I mean, to be that young and then go to somewhere, especially some of the people that go to countries that they've never even heard of, and then some of these kids, you know, from Utah are going to small towns like Troy, Alabama. I mean, and they don't know anybody, and they're trying to spread what they believe in their faith. You know, you got to respect them regardless of what
no question about it. And let me tell you this: they love Jesus.
I mean, if anybody slams the door in the face of those two young ladies yesterday, I'd be shocked.
I would too. And let me tell you something. They're talking about our Lord Jesus Christ, and they support our Lord, and they are preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ. They just have a few extra things that go with it.
You know, what they believe and how they believe things happen is a lot different than what we believe, but it's one of those type things where, you know, that's the way they were raised, and that's what they were, you know, what their beliefs are. So you can't, you know, you can only listen and respectfully, you know, just, you know, have a conversation.
Well, it's sort of like you being in the church that you go
to.
It's
just different denominations, you know. I mean, I grew up, you know, Southern Baptist, and now, you know, later in life I joined the Episcopal Church.
Well, the Episcopal Church is a little different than a lot of churches.
I mean, we're kind of Catholic light, is what they always say.
Yeah. A what?
Catholic light is kind of what the Episcopal Church
exactly.
is.
And of course, Episcopal
kind of similar to Catholic.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, y'all are y'all have different ways of doing some things, you know, compared to you know, all churches do some things differently.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those type things. It was the good fit for me, and it was a good fit for my wife. You know, that's how we met. We met, you know, actually at a church Bible study, and then met later on at our priest's baby shower.
Yeah. Y'all, again, you know, one thing about their belief, you know, I believe that the Bible, the Holy Bible, is the Word of God. I believe wholeheartedly that it's the Word of God. They not only believe that the Holy Bible is the Word of God, but they believe that the Mormon Bible is also the Word of God. So, you know,
I mean, it's just one of those type of things in our denomination. You know, I mean, Episcopal, Baptist, Methodist, Catholic, you know, we're all kind of more on the same level. It's just a totally different level.
And of course, at the same time,
I mean, when it's all said and done, you've probably done more for the Church of Latter-day Saints in Troy, Alabama, and not be a member than anybody in the history.
Well, you know what? I believe in worshiping Christ, and they worship Christ just like I do. You know.
Well, I've met enough of them over the years. You know, enough of these kids, these young kids that have come to Troy that, you know, they're quality kids. And
they sure are, and they come from quality.
What we want, I think, by having them on the show is what we want everybody to realize is that they're people and they're good people, and that we want people to
admire them.
We don't want people to shut doors on them and stuff like that. So I mean,
that's right.
At the end of the day, I mean, I think it's just one of those type of things we're kind of introducing them to the community.
No question about it. Mike Amos calling in from Birmingham this morning, and of course we got a big weekend coming up. Troy and North Alabama renews their rivalry, Mike, in baseball.
Troy's really got to find some pitching. I'm kind of concerned early on about the pitching right now, how they're going to be able to win enough games to maybe make the NCAA tournament again.
If you're watching us on Facebook this morning or whatever, we're laid back television at its very best. And
I watched the replay last night. I didn't realize how big I was until I was on the show next to you. I was thinking you looked pretty tiny yesterday.
I tell you what, you look like an NFL has-been.
I look like I could play offensive guard for Alabama.
You look like an NFL has-been.
I grabbed one of your old blazers and threw it on yesterday, and I didn't realize how big it was going to look.
Well, that old beard makes you look sort of big. But, you know, I don't see how you stand it, man. I try to go 4 or 5 days sometimes without shaving, and it's rough.
Man, I've had a beard now since I was 21 years old.
I know.
Almost 22 years?
Exactly. And let me just say this, ladies and gentlemen. This is
You know what? Every time I shave it, my wife has a fit.
Oh, really? She likes it.
She loves the beard.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is laid back television at its very best. Bring me some coffee. Bring me some coffee. We'll be right back.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Troy Cable Security makes it easy to stay aware and stay in control of your home wherever you are. User-friendly interface allows easy navigation for lights, locks thermostat, video, and garage doors. Never worry about leaving your garage door open or the front door unlocked. Your mobile app can send alerts to your phone for alarm and no alarm events. Know when your children arrive home from school with video response. Make sure your home is powered by Troy Cable Security for ultimate access, awareness, and protection.
Have you seen an increase in your insurance premiums or significant change in your insurance coverage? Let Sandbeck Insurance offer you a better plan to suit your business or personal needs. Sandbeck Insurance offers many lines of insurance, whether it's home, farm, or auto insurance, work comp, business, or health and life policies. Sandbeck is here for you. Call or visit our Troy, Enterprise, or Andalusia office today. Sandbeck Insurance, where we take pride in taking care of your insurance needs.
Trojan Auto Parts of Troy, home of Napa Know-How. Stop by and see owners Mike and Melissa Kilcrease and their Napa Know-How team with over 100 years of combined experience. We're the only locally owned parts store in Pike County, and we're fully stocked and ready to serve you. We pride ourselves on being your go-to parts store, not only for the simple items, but we specialize in those hard-to-find items as well. Trojan Auto Parts, the right part at the right price at the right time. Napa, a name you've trusted here in Troy since 1945.
Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by Piggly Wiggly on North 39th Street in Troy and also in the Marketplace Shopping Center. Mike, I think they've got the best produce in town. I love their cantaloupe, the way they cut
I
that
love
cantaloupe.
their fresh white peas when they come out.
And I love their fresh white peas. I love their grapes. I love their oranges. I love their meat department. And they'll cut you a delicious bone-in ribeye, Mike.
Of course,
Mike,
also,
I like my drink products in a bottle. I like my steaks and chicken and pork chop with bone in. It makes all the difference in the world. Why is that?
well,
Why is a bone in ribeye better and more tender than one that doesn't have the bone in?
It's just more flavor than anything.
But don't you agree with me?
Yeah, I do like bone-in ribeye.
And of course, and a pork chop. You take a pork chop. The bone-in pork chop has more flavor than the pork chop without the bone. That's a really good topic this morning, isn't it?
Well, I mean, it's one of those type things in a restaurant. You want to pick it up and eat it off the bone.
Exactly. But we do appreciate our good friends at Piggly Wiggly.
I'm going to mention a transfer quarterback, Texas A&M's quarterback Nick Starkel, who was starter before Kellen Mond beat him out. He has 2 years of eligibility left. He chose Arkansas over Florida State yesterday.
You think he'll be a difference? I mean, he wasn't that good a player, was he?
No, he's pretty good. He actually was a starter, 3 for 500 yards in a bowl game.
Oh, he did?
Kelly Munn beat him out and won the starting job last year. So I think he'll help Arkansas. He's a big 6'4", 230-pound quarterback.
This is an example of a player
2
leaving.
years left to play, kind of similar
right.
with Jake Coker when he left Florida State. He graduated early and had 2 years.
Do you think this guy is a franchise-type player? What I mean, do you think he can come in and do it?
Type player. I mean, he got beat out by Kelly Munn, but Kellen Munn's a really good athlete and can really run.
And can Starkel run, or is he a drop-back passer? What kind of player is he?
He's more of a drop-back passer.
All right, Auburn's talking about this guy named Gatewood. Tell us about Joey Gatewood. They think that he can be the difference. Mike, what do you think?
He's a big 6'5" quarterback. They recruited out of Georgia a couple of years ago, and really hadn't played much. He played a little bit in the bowl game, but he'll be I think a junior. I mean, not a junior, but a sophomore this year. So I guess we'll see what happens.
Would you say that?
I mean, everybody up in Birmingham thinks Bo Nix will go in and win that job.
Isn't that amazing? Well, he sure was a winner in high school, no question about it. and should know the game.
It's amazing. His dad wants to stay in high school ball. He's won 2 straight state champions, but he used to be the offense coordinator at Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
And he was the offense coordinator in Miami.
Huh. I didn't know that. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a machine on the other line right here that knows about these things. But I would say this: what would be your grade on Jarrett Steedham? He had a great year the first year he was there, but he wasn't.
I don't know. I guess you would have to talk to Chip Lindsey. You'd have to go there and say how many of those play calls did you make his junior year, and how many or his sophomore year, and how many did you make his junior year?
And Will Steedham, who transferred from Baylor.
Everybody says that Steedham's got the arm strength to play in the NFL, but they say he's got happy feet, and that he made really poor decisions last year. So a lot of people are thinking he's going to be 3rd or 4th round.
Coach, if you're watching this morning, give us a ring.
He was on that media tour up in Birmingham, and he was on. I saw him on TroyTrojans.com. He was literally having lunch with every single sportscaster in Birmingham.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you something about him. First of all, he's a classy young man. He's a good-looking young man. He comes, he's proven himself pretty well as a quarterback. Do you think he'll be a top 30 pick?
Well, no. You talking about Steedham?
Yeah. Do you think he'll become?
They said Steedham will be lucky to go 3rd or 4th round.
So he won't become a millionaire then? Is that right?
Well, he married into a millionaire family. His new father-in-law is the CEO of the Houston Rockets.
Are you serious? How do you know these things, son?
Well, I just know they've had him on interviewing him before. He actually bought a house in Auburn just to go watch games.
and his father-in-law is. Wait a minute there. You mean his father-in-law did?
His wife is a star soccer player at Baylor. He originally was at Baylor.
Yeah, so he's married. Is that right?
I believe he is married now.
And you would think he'd be a good Baptist going to Baylor, don't you agree?
I'm sure he probably was.
And
you don't think Auburn takes any Baptists?
Yeah. Well, let me ask this: who do you say his father-in-law is? What or who?
The CEO of the Houston Rockets basketball.
The CEO of the Houston Rockets basketball team. So he's got to be probably a millionaire plus, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, they're interviewing him. The Rockets played Memphis in an exhibition game in Birmingham, and he was there talking about Jarrett Steedham and talking about Auburn.
Yeah. Instead of, now,
I'll say this. I thought it was his sophomore year, that the year they beat Georgia, they beat Alabama. I thought he was a phenomenal quarterback.
Yeah. Well, let me ask this. Don't you think he should have stayed another year? I mean, if his stock is not better than it is right now, don't you think he should have gone stayed another year?
He was already graduated, and I think he was just looking to start an NFL career. And then if it doesn't work out, I'm sure he'll probably work for the Rockets front office.
Well, now quarterbacks are a little different. Even though they let's say he signs in the 3rd or 4th round, they still get $1 million, don't you think? Quarterback.
It's not guaranteed.
I mean, don't you think they'll still sign for that kind of money?
You might have 3 years worth about $1 million, but I don't know if it's anything guaranteed.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll tell you what, I think the best job in football is holding a clipboard and being a backup quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, and like the Alabama quarterback.
Yeah, John Parker Wilson did that for about 3 or 4 years with the Falcons.
That's right. And well, let me answer this. Talking about.
I don't know if he ever got into a game because Matt Ryan never got hurt.
Yeah. How about our guy with Cincinnati?
McElroy was the backup quarterback for the Jets for 3 years. He actually started a game and won a game in the NFL. He could have been a backup quarterback for years, but decided to get into doing color. For ESPN.
But as a third string, as a third string quarterback, he would have been a millionaire, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, well, his dad was in the front office with the Dallas Cowboys.
That's
so
right.
He had was raised in football too.
Now, how about our guy Mike, who backed up, was back up at Cincinnati? Where is he now?
He's back up for Carr for the Raiders. AJ McCarron.
Yeah. Is he gonna get a shot? He reminds me of.
He got beat out, for the Buffalo job, and they ended up starting Josh Allen, and I think he's just going to be a career backup. But he made millions of dollars so far.
And he did what?
They had that playoff game one. He started for Cincinnati. It's just they got 2 personal fouls and ended up losing.
And they had the game won.
Yeah.
Well, he reminds me a little bit of, Kenny Stabler went through that with Darryl LaMonica with the Oakland Raiders. Stabler sat on the bench a long time.
Yeah, I know.
And, it's just a shame that happens. Looking at Auburn right now, their quarterback, Malik Willis, tell us about him.
He's just a backup, more of a runner than a thrower. And then they got Cord Sandberger, who's never played.
All right, now.
Minor league baseball player.
All right, now let me ask you this. His name.
They compared to Cam Newton when they recruited him.
Yeah. Did you say his name is Cord, C-O-R-D, Cord?
I don't know how he spells it. I know it's Sandberg.
Cord Sandberg.
Related to Ron Sandberg, maybe that's his uncle.
I was wondering what is the relationship with the Hall of Famer Ron Sandberg with the Cubs? I think it's maybe his uncle is what I was told. Joey Gatewood, the young man from Jacksonville, Florida. Is that where he's from, or where's Gatewood from?
No, he's from Georgia.
And Bo Nix. Give us a rundown. Malik Willis is pretty much a runner. Is that right?
Yeah.
Gatewood, how would you characterize him?
Gatewood's supposed to be a dual threat guy, can throw and run.
Yeah. The headlines.
I don't know too much about Sandberg. I don't really know. I know he was a 4-star out of high school.
And where did he go to high school? Do you know?
I don't know. I know he's 25 years old.
25 years old, so he's mature. He's been in pro baseball, and the best example.
The only guy that you can think about that did that and won the Heisman Trophy was Chris Winkie at Florida State.
Well, how about our guy with Seattle, Mike? He did that.
Well, no, he did it while he was in high school. While he was in college, he was playing minor league baseball while he was in college.
We're talking about
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson. Now, he's to me the best example of.
Now Brian Meadows signed with a guy.
I remember that.
Marlins, that was the phenom of all. His name was Josh Booty.
And Booty never made it, did he?
And Booty ended up not making it in the pros, and he ended up starting quarterback at LSU after he left the Florida Marlins for 2 years.
Yeah. But Booty was a big name
phenomenal
guy.
athlete.
Yeah. And now he got a lot more money than Brian got. Is that right?
Well, he was like one of the first picks in the whole draft. Brian went early in the 3rd round. Booty went the first. I think he might have been the first pick overall.
We're talking about Brian Meadows out of Troy. If you want to see him today and get an autograph from him today, go out to the Troy Recreation Center and you look for a 6'5" guy that looks like a pitcher, and that's Brian Meadows. One of the finest young men I've known ever to grow up in this town.
Yeah, I think anybody would say that.
How humble is Brian Meadows? Have you ever seen anything that made you think that he was a prima donna? He was as well. He is as well constructed individual that I know.
Yeah, he was probably one of the most gracious people I've ever been around in my whole life. He basically let a bunch of guys from Troy live out their Major League Baseball dreams through him, going to different events. And
people that watch this show know I've made this comment again, but I still can remember being in Baltimore on the 4th of July, and we had been in Washington, D.C. that weekend and all that, and we went over to the ball game, and Johnny Williams was with us, and his 2 boys were with us, and there was a line, Mike, at least 100 yards long. It was a huge line before the game getting autographs from the players, Well, Brian Meadows was down there signing autograph after autograph after autograph, and we're waiting up there. We're waiting up there at least, going to have to wait at least an hour to get down there to him. So he looked up and he saw me. He said, Mr. Amos. Now, this is one of the top young pitchers in the major leagues. He said, come on down here. And so he then leaves and runs in the dugout. He comes back, and all these people are watching all of this because they're waiting to get an autograph. He brings us back 2 autographed baseballs, 2 autographed hats, and some kind of other program. and he handed it to Johnny's boys right in front of all those other folks. And and then all I turned around and said was, "I'm sorry, it's who you know." It's who you know, and we were so fortunate, and he made us feel like we were really special. And later on, I was in Hollywood, and that's exactly where we were at a meeting.
You were shopping on Rodeo Drive?
We were in Hollywood, and I was sitting in the hotel, oh gosh, what's the name of the great hotel out there? The
Beverly Hills Hilton.
Beverly Hills Hilton. That's exactly where we're staying. And I didn't have anything to do. Johnny Williams was having to play in the golf tournament. I was out there with him. And I looked at the paper and I said, gosh, the Pittsburgh Pirates are playing the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium today. Gosh, I ought to try to go. Wait a minute. Doesn't Meadows, doesn't he pitch with Pittsburgh? I think I called you, Mike, got his number. Do you remember that? And I called Mike on the phone. I said, how can I get up with Brian? So he gave me his number. I picked up the phone. I said, Brian, this is Mike Amos. He said, hey, Coach, how you doing? Hey, Mr. Amos. And here he is. He fixed to play a Major League Baseball game. And I called him up. I said, Brian, is it by any chance I could get some tickets to the game today? He said, sure. He said, just go to Will Call outside of Dodger Stadium at Will Call, and I'll have you a ticket. How many do you need? I said, I just need one. And when I got my ticket and I walked into the ballpark, my ticket was 10 rows high and right behind the catcher. And in a minute, this beautiful young lady who will later be his bride walked up, and she said, hey, Mr. Amos, and she sat by me, and she told me about every player on the field. She knew baseball like you wouldn't believe. And now she had bared him how many children? 4, and they live happily right here in Troy, Alabama. She teaches
took a job working for Troy University in the art department.
Well, let me tell you, a wonderful young lady, and married a wonderful young man, and they have 4 wonderful children. And let me tell you this, it all goes back to his dad, Mike, who was such a good coach. And, I was one of the coaches that had to play against his teams. He knew how to coach kids, and he knew how to treat kids. He knew how to treat his own kids. And, hey, his brother was about as good as he was.
Yeah, I mean, Edwin Meadows was a great coach. I mean, Brent was a really talented guy, a big, strong guy. He pitched for Chipola. Junior college.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I think
good
he
program.
Pitched at Alabama Huntsville, so, he played, college baseball. So
but you know something else about those 2 boys, Mike? Tell me what else was good about them. They were smart in school, very smart kids.
Well, one thing about them is their mom.
Hey, their daddy made them study.
Their mom, Linda, was their biggest supporter, too. I wonder how many games she went to in her life.
Oh, gosh, no telling. But I can remember.
I was reading this right here. North Dakota State National Championship football team went to the White House. That's pretty neat that a one-place school gets to visit the White House.
Oh, yeah. That's right, Division II school. Now, let me tell you this.
And they made a bunch of fuss last time because he fed Clemson a bunch of fast food burgers and fries. And this time he did Chick-fil-A.
Did he? What, the president?
Yeah, he fed them Chick-fil-A. There was a big uproar because when Clemson went to the White House, he went to Burger King, McDonald's, and all these fast food places and catered that in for them to eat.
Well, the president of the United States, that's what he did?
Yeah, instead of actually having them prepare something.
Oh, gosh. Well, let me tell you this. He'll be in Lee County today. Today or tomorrow, he's going to be down here. Supporting those folks that have had such a terrible thing happen. Of course, the number of dead after this terrible storm is 23. Bad weather coming in this weekend is going to be a lot like what we had this past weekend, and hopefully.
Yeah, is that going to be? I'm going to be driving through there. I'm wondering what time that's going to hit. We're going to.
I don't know. You need to get
early to get on the beach.
You need to get on out of here early. you think about it, you don't see those things happen early in the morning for some reason.
I think it's
got to get warmer. It's got to get warmer for those two from the, they say where cold meets warm is where you have your storms.
Yeah, I guess spring training baseball started up as well.
Oh yeah, it's going on.
A lot of fun for people during spring break. I know when I was a kid, we went to spring training games at least twice, I think, during spring break.
Yeah.
One time we went to a spring training games, and we came back and walked on the middle of the Florida State practice field and sat next to Bobby Bowden and watched practice.
And do you remember this? Do you remember the giant Easter egg?
Control got us out there.
Do you remember the giant Easter egg hunt they had before the game? One of those games, it was Easter.
I remember when I was a kid, you could go right up to players. And you talking about getting foul balls. My goodness, I don't know how many Major League Baseballs I got.
Well, and another thing, do you remember going to the game and they had on Easter morning, we went to the game, they had a giant Easter egg hunt, and the golden egg was a signed autographed baseball. And all the kids were trying to get the golden egg.
I remember Cincinnati Reds were really good back then. They had a player named Eric Davis. We were on our car riding down the road, and their bus passed by, and Eric Davis and some of the players were making faces at us from the windows.
Yeah. Well, and of course,
different time back then as far as Major League Baseball. We sat there and talked to Wade Boggs at third base one day for about 10 minutes.
Tell us the biggest disappointment.
Hunting and fishing in Alabama.
Yeah. Tell us exactly right. Tell us the biggest disappointment.
The biggest disappointment down there?
Yeah, tell them who the biggest disappointment was.
Oh, I can't remember.
For the Phillies, he played second base for the Phillies.
Second base for the Phillies. You mean third base for the Phillies, Mike Smith?
Mike, we're talking about one of the greatest hitters of all time.
Pete Rose?
Pete Rose. Do you remember how he wouldn't sign your autograph?
He must have been coaching.
No, he wouldn't sign your autograph. He might have been coaching.
I don't know. I don't remember that.
Boy, I don't see how you can remember that. I thought he was terrible.
Was I sitting there asking you for it or something?
Oh yeah, y'all were trying. Well, all the kids were trying to get it. He just wouldn't give them autograph. Mike, this is.
The sad thing about Pete Rose now is when I was out in Vegas, not this last time, but the year before, he was in a sports memorabilia shop at Mandalay Bay in like a shopping mall. They have all these malls.
Yeah.
The casino. And he was in there charging $100 for autographs, and not one person was in that sports memorabilia shop to get his autograph.
Isn't that amazing? That is amazing. But Mike,
he lives out in Vegas, and that's what he does now.
You must not have been with us because we went to a spring training where he actually.
No, I was down there.
Don't you remember him hitting line drives over and over and over? He was actually a player with Philadelphia at the change.
He might have been. I mean, he was 44 years old. I'd have to see when he finished his career.
Well, he played for Philadelphia, but tell us the guy that was the best of all was a hero of the World Series, whose son is a very popular country music singer.
Tug McGraw.
Tug McGraw. And Tug McGraw was very nice and very easy to deal with and so forth. And it sort of made me mad, though, that this guy, as good as he was, Pete Rose, would not sign autographs like a lot of them. I saw a program this week about Arnold Palmer. They said Arnold Palmer was perhaps maybe the most popular sports guy alive.
You're right. He didn't retire. Rose didn't retire until he was 86, so he probably was playing.
Oh, yeah, he was playing. But let me just say this. Arnold Palmer, they said, used to wait hours until he signed the last autograph.
Well, who does that? He says, he talks about Arnold is the reason he does it. Mickelson does that too.
Yeah. And Palmer, a lot of people think is maybe the most popular athlete of all time. Can you believe that?
No, I mean, I've heard that.
Who would you think, Michael Jordan, the most popular athlete of all times, who would you think it'd be?
It's got to be probably
Muhammad Ali.
It's got to be Jordan or Muhammad Ali, and then Tiger Woods used to be right up there, but of course,
Tiger.
off the course stuff.
Willie Mays was a great one back in the heyday.
Yeah, but he wasn't like a worldwide, like, national figure.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of soccer players that people go crazy about.
Oh, yeah, Pele. Pele was a very popular soccer player.
I mean, there's a guy, Ronaldo, that a lot of people talk about now.
Do they really? Where's he from? Brazil?
Portugal, I think.
Yeah.
And then you got, in hockey, the great one, Wayne Gretzky.
Oh, yeah.
But worldwide, I'd have to say it has to be Muhammad Ali, Michael Jordan, and Tiger Woods.
Yeah, that would be. Those would be very good.
I mean, football is probably got to be right now. It's probably got to be Brady.
Years ago, Rocky Marciano was real popular at one time. Brady in football, probably by far the most popular. But
a lot of people say the greatest boxer of all time is from Alabama, Joe Louis.
Joe Louis was a great one, and of course shouldn't have boxed against Rocky at a young age. Rocky caught Joe Louis as a
Pete Rose
guy.
is 77 years old now.
77 years old, and of course, still.
What was his nickname?
Wait a minute, I'll tell you. Pete Rose's nickname was Charlie Hustle.
That's correct.
Charlie Hustle, I win a cup of coffee, and let's have a cup of Nescafe. We'll be right back.
Troy Cable Security makes it easy to stay aware and stay in control of your home wherever you are. User-friendly interface allows easy navigation for lights, locks thermostat, video, and garage doors. Never worry about leaving your garage door open or the front door unlocked. Your mobile app can send alerts to your phone for alarm and no alarm events. Know when your children arrive home from school with video response. Make sure your home is powered by Troy Cable Security for ultimate access, awareness, and protection.
When you are handed the key to a new Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick or GMC, rev up your imagination. Think of all the places you can go in some of the most stylish, best quality cars available on the market today. Feel confident driving vehicles with superb dependability and safety ratings. And smile, you saved a ton of money because you bought at Bill Jackson. Let the only thing holding you back be the end of the road. A Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC vehicle will not only change your life, it saves you money like nowhere else.
Tori Dunn from Dixie Trails. You get your truck washed here?
I sure did.
Billy Johnson, I know you're not bringing them cow trucks over here.
I do, and they're like me when I leave.
Loretta, what are you doing?
Getting my car detailed.
At Trojan Detail, we do it all.
If you've had an accident or just want a new look for your vehicle, come see us at Troy Paint and Body, where we do it right the first time. Our staff has more than 100 years combined experience and can handle repairs and paint work on any make or model. We also offer a lifetime guarantee as long as you own your vehicle. Our 24-hour towing service means we're here when you need us. Troy Paint and Body, where we may meet by accident, but you'll be glad we did. So come see us at Troy Paint and Body, located on South Brundage Street in Troy beside the post office.
I always had on a cap every time I saw him.
Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by First Cahaba Bank, brand new bank
I
right
heard a
here.
commercial yesterday. Roxy Kitchens was advertising. She's
Roxy is with the First Cahaba Bank, and of course they do a great job. Brand new bank located just off of what I call Johnny Williams. Johnny Witherton Avenue, and then of course. We appreciate them very much.
You think you'll ever get like anything named after you one day, like Mike Amos Alley?
I don't know. I'd like to be an alley or something. I think everybody would love to be remembered one day.
Mike Amos Corner.
Yes, exactly.
Maybe we got enough property in town. Maybe we can put your name on something like that.
Well, you could do that probably. Dixieland Dental, ladies and gentlemen. How about maybe the pit down there? We can name it after me. It doesn't have a street name.
Yeah, you're the mayor of Crow Hill, but nobody, that's not a real title.
I'm an unpaid mayor of Crow Hill, is that right? Of course, we appreciate all of you watching our show today, and of course, for you folks on Facebook, this is Laid Back Television at its very best today in Lower Alabama, and we appreciate you watching our show, and hope that we bring a tickle, a little smile to your face tonight. In Troy, Mike, we've got a wonderful performance, and I've got 2 tickets and looking forward to going. Tell us about this event coming to Troy, Mike.
Well, you got the comedy group out of Chicago.
They're out of Chicago.
Second City is known for
Second City is the name of the group.
It's known for producing all the greats on Saturday Night Live, so it's kind of like a.
And we're talking about
comedians.
Tell us some of the guys.
You're talking about John Belushi, Dan Aykroyd, John Candy. You're talking about Will Ferrell. You're talking about Amy Poehler, Tina Fey. All these great Saturday Night Live.
All of these great comedians.
Comedians started at Second City in Chicago, so having Second City comedians in Troy tonight.
Mike, this is a big-time event, isn't it?
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. It should be really entertaining. I would definitely like to go if I was in town.
Tickets are $20 a piece if you bought them before the event tonight. At the actually it's $25 at the door tonight. The Claudia Crosby Theater. This is big-time entertainment, ladies and gentlemen. Don't let something like this go by. We have these things in Troy, Alabama, where these folks in New York would sell this thing out, don't you think, Mike?
Oh, I mean, I think they probably sell out a lot of places.
And of course, let's put a big crowd in there tonight and laugh, and that's what it's all about. And,
I was going to mention this. This is pretty phenomenal. LSU went on the road last night in overtime against Florida in basketball. LSU is 9-0 on the road in the SEC this year. 9-0, and that's unbelievable.
And they won last night too.
Yeah, so they're basically tied right now with Tennessee for the best record. So they got a chance to win the SEC this year. They're 15-2.
Yeah. Oh boy. Now let me ask you this.
And they brought in a coach from VCU. This is his second year, and he's really turned that program around.
Virginia Commonwealth.
Yeah.
Tell me the name of the gymnasium or the arena at LSU.
It's Pete Maravich Assembly Center.
All right, and they give me another name for that facility. That they named it. They named it Pete's Palace at one time.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was just Pete Maravich Assembly Center.
And of course, Pete Maravich, ladies and gentlemen, was the most prolific scorer of all time in college basketball. He averaged over 40 points a game.
44.
And 44 points a game. And the ironic thing of all of this is no three-point playback when he played. If there would have been a three-point line back when he played him, because most of his shots were long-range jump shots. You know, he's about 6'5" and had sloppy. I'll come back and ask you what was unique about him. But if it had been a three-point line, he probably would have averaged 60 points a game, Mike. Isn't that unreal?
Yeah, I didn't realize in the NBA. I was looking at a documentary on him the other day on the SEC Network that he averaged over 30 points a game in the NBA one season.
Well, and of course, you know, he wasn't near as good in the pros as he was in the college. But let me tell you this, Mike.
He played on a lot of really bad teams in the NBA.
Let me tell you this, and this is a good trivia question.
He originally signed with Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah, Mike Maravich had to have some other players on the team, some of his teammates. Name me a couple of teammates on that team that he played on at LSU. Do you know?
I don't know.
There was a guy named Fig Newton. His name was Fig Newton. And the other guy's name, and listen to this is ironic. Fig Newton and the other guy that was good on that team was Apple Sanders. So if you're sitting at home,
surely those were nicknames.
well, no, that was what their names were. Fig Newton.
One guy's name really was Fig Newton, and one guy's name was Apple.
Apple Sanders. And his daddy's name was what, Mike? And this goes way back, and before you were born.
Press Maravich.
Press Maravich, that's right.
And you know, Troy's former basketball coach, Billy Jeffco, named his son Press.
Did he really after Press Maravich, you think?
I don't know if it was after him or not, but you would think he was such a big basketball fan.
Exactly. Well, that tickles me. And of course,
you'd have to ask Billy when you see him, but I know one of his sons is pro.
I went to see him play Auburn one year, and he scored 68 points against Auburn.
I thought he scored 68 against Alabama.
Oh, well, all right. Well, he scored 63 against Auburn. 63 against Auburn. 68 against Alabama.
You know, they were talking about James Harden this year, the phenomenal Rockets shooting guard. I think he scored over 57 or 8 times this year.
Hey, they really?
They're talking about 50-point games in a season.
Do you know that might be a record?
No, they said Wilt Chamberlain did it 120 times.
What, over 50 points a game 120 times?
Yeah.
Now, he is the only player ever to score 100 points.
I think Michael Jordan was second.
Wilt Chamberlain's the only person that's ever scored 100 points in a game.
Kobe scored 81.
Was that the next highest, Kobe
That was
Bryant?
the next highest.
Isn't that amazing? How about prior to that?
David Robinson scored 70 one time.
70 and
I think the most Jordan score was 69.
Now let me tell you another trivia question. What college did David Robinson go to?
He went to the Naval Academy.
He went to the Naval Academy. All right, now let me ask you this.
What college did Wilt Chamberlain go to?
He went to Kansas.
That's right. This is harder. What college did Bill Russell go to?
He went to San Francisco.
That's right. What college did Larry Bird go to?
Larry Bird went to Indiana State.
That's right.
I'm pretty good at that, aren't I?
Yeah, we can keep going.
I might have found out something I'm good at. Tell me some others.
What college? I'll get you here. What college did LeBron James go to?
LeBron James did not go to college.
That's right. He played out of high school. same thing with Kobe Bryant as well. He came straight out of high school.
Okay, keep going. This is fun.
Magic Johnson.
Magic Johnson went to Michigan. Michigan State. Excuse me.
That's right.
Keep going. That's fun. This is fun.
What about Clyde the Glide Drexler?
Drexler. Oh gosh. Clyde the Glide Drexler didn't go to college.
Went to Houston. Played with Team Olajuwon.
Okay, I got you.
They were known as Phi Slamma Jamma.
Yeah, Phi Slamma Jamma. Okay.
Anybody recently? Where did Gordon Hayward play? That plays for the Celtics.
Gordon Hayward. I never heard of him, Mike.
I mean, he's a great NBA player.
I know, but where did he go to college? Didn't go.
Butler.
Oh, Butler. Okay.
Where did Kevin McHale play?
McHale. Gosh, where did McHale play? Yeah, you're about to stump me here. McHale played for
Minnesota.
Minnesota, okay. that tickles me. You know where Bob Cousy played, did you? He played at Holy Cross.
What about James Worthy?
Worthy played at UCLA.
No, North Carolina.
What? Okay. All right, I'm sorry. I'm not so good at this after all. Okay.
I'm trying to think of...
where did Jerry West? Let me ask you. You're a guru. Where did Jerry West play?
West Virginia.
Bob Pettit, where did he play?
Bob who?
Bob Pettit, the great Bob Pettit. Where did he play?
Played at LSU, didn't he?
Yep. Where did Oscar Robertson play?
Cincinnati.
You got it, man. You're pretty good at this. Where did Walt Hazzard play?
Ooh, I don't know where Walt Hazzard played.
He played at Loyola of Chicago.
Where did Bernard King play?
Bernard King played at Tennessee. And he was a good one, too.
I guess...
See, you had Bernie and Ernie.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Isaiah Thomas, where'd he play?
Indiana.
That's right.
This is fun, Mike.
Go on and on and on.
And of course, all these.
This is always the tough one. Where did Karl Malone play?
Karl Malone played for. Oh boy, hold on a second.
Small school.
I know it. I can't tell you.
Louisiana Tech.
Oh man, I didn't know he played Louisiana. That's a good one there now.
Yeah.
All right, who else do we have out there?
I'm trying to think back in the 80s and 90s who all had great players. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Where'd John Stockton play?
Stockton played at UCLA. No, wait a minute.
Stockton didn't play there. You know where he played.
Wait a minute. Stockton played at. Stockton played at. No, he played at Excuse me.
They played at Gonzaga.
That's right, Gonzaga. I would have got it.
Where did the great Dominique Wilkins play?
Dominique Wilkins played at Maryland.
No, he played at Georgia.
Georgia, okay. The other guy played it, okay. I'm not as good as I thought I was, Mike.
Well, I mean, you guys just go on from player to player to player. I mean,
Tommy Heinsohn, where did he play? Tommy Heinsohn.
I know he used to be the head coach of the Celtics. I don't know where he played college ball.
Where did he was the, Ramsey was played at Kentucky. Heinsohn played at, gosh, I can remember it myself.
Where did Avery Johnson, Alabama's basketball?
Avery Johnson, I don't know, and I don't
He led the
care.
country in assists when he was in college. He played at Southern University.
Oh man, this would be a good trivia of fun to ask these things, you know. No question about it.
If you do football, where did Walter Payton play college ball?
Walter Payton played for not Grambling, but he played for oh boy,
School in Mississippi.
I know it's what I'm thinking.
Jackson State.
Jackson State, yeah. I should have known that. Should have known that. But this is fun, a lot of fun. What college did Mickey Mantle go to?
Mickey Mantle went to college?
He didn't go to college.
He was from Oklahoma, wasn't he?
Yeah, exactly. No question about it. But it's fun.
The guy they got to play Roger Maris and the guy they got to play Mickey Mantle in '61. They couldn't have got two better actors. They looked just like him.
Exactly, and
especially the guy that played Maris. Oh my goodness.
Oh, the guy that played Maris. You're right, and I've got that.
Also I think his name is Barry Pepper. Is the actor. I mean, they look like twins.
And I'll tell you this about him. Of course,
they say everybody out there's got a twin in life, and my goodness, he was it.
You know what? The sad thing about those athletes back then, Maris was a chain smoker.
Yeah.
Roger Maris was and it dictated. It showed that in that movie. I think that's one of the best sports movies ever. Was that? I thought it was an excellent movie.
Yeah, ESPN made a bunch of movies for a while that were really good. I didn't think the one they did on Bear Bryant and Junction.
No, they've never depicted. What's the guy's name that they made Bear Bryant?
Gary Busey.
Yeah, Gary Busey. How in the world is he gonna be a Bear Bryant? You know.
Yeah, that was real poor casting.
Well, what are some other good
Tom
sports?
Berenger, they had him play Bryant at the Junction Boys. I didn't even think that was that good either.
No. And what were some other good sports sports movies that?
I mean, the best baseball movie is The Natural.
The Natural was excellent. And
a lot of people think the best football movie is the high school movie that Remember the Titans.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
A lot of people like that. My favorite movie is Brian's Song, Because I Cried Like a Baby.
Yeah, that was a good one. And of course,
Gail Sayers and Brian Piccolo.
Yeah. And where did Gail Sayers play his college football? Do you know?
He was the Kansas Comet.
That's right, the Kansas Comet.
The question is where Brian Piccolo played.
Piccolo played at one of those northern schools.
Where did Larry Zonka play?
Larry Zonka played at Syracuse. Name me all those great Syracuse running backs, Mike.
Yeah, Larry Zonka, Ernie Davis. You had
all right, now the sad thing about Ernie Davis, and that was a good movie portraying him. Of course, he was a Heisman Trophy winner that never really got to play pro ball because he had cancer and died young. But he was a Heisman Trophy runner.
Yeah, Jim Brown, of course, a lot of people consider the greatest running back of all time.
Exactly. Floyd Little. They had another one named Floyd Little that was really good. And maybe my favorite was Larry Zonka.
Yeah, Zonka was great for the Dolphins. Isn't that where he was a great player?
Yeah, that's right.
I want to say the Lady Trojans play at home tonight.
They do. And
go out and watch Troy basketball. The ladies are really good this year. Go watch them. They're playing Appalachian State.
Yeah. And they're getting ready to go to
For some crazy reason, Troy's playing Appalachian State in Boone. Can you imagine how cold it was in Boone, North Carolina this morning? I ought to Google that.
Oh, yeah. And I tell you what, I hope evidently it would be a miracle for Troy to make it to the playoffs, wouldn't it?
And I think so.
What would they actually have to do?
I mean, we talked about it yesterday. I mean, it's almost impossible. They're going to have to win 2 in a row, and then 2 other teams are going to have to lose both their games.
Want to mention Dixieland Dental, ladies and gentlemen, located 9 miles north of Dothan on Highway 231. Dr. Michael Precise, Dr. Damon Strength, Dr. John Strength, and Dr. Robert Precise make up one of the largest dental clinics in Alabama. Hope that you enjoyed our show today, ladies and gentlemen. Laid back television at its very best, and we'll be here tomorrow, bright and early, for Today in LA. Have a good one.